Oh, so fabulous.
Hi guys, welcome back to the channel once again. It's your girl Dumebi. If this is your first time coming across my channel, you're welcome. You're welcome to the channel. It's so good to have you here. I hope you decide to subscribe, and if you are a returning subscriber, welcome back once again. How are you doing? How is your family? Are you doing good? So before I get into today's video, my disclaimer as usual, this video is strictly for educational purposes. Do not go searching out anybody that I talk about in this video. Don't send them any form of hate comments, threats, or violence. This channel does not support any of that. So a palm color woman made a video that had some of our brothers responding, basically black people, not just the brothers, but she was talking to our brothers that are in interracial relationships and act a certain way because of that. Let me just play her video.
I have a question for some black men, because I know it's not all, so don't come for me saying she said all. I never said that, but I do have a question for some, specifically the black men who choose to date white women, because that is where I have seen it the most. But I was about to go into the store, right? There was a black man there. He was with a white woman. You could tell they were together. Okay. As I'm getting ready to come into the establishment, I'm right behind them. He holds the door for me. I said, thank you. He said, oh, you're very welcome. Okay. There was a black lady right behind me. He let that door go and slam in her face. And I looked, and I even said to him, I said, oh, that was very rude. And he said, what happened? I held the door for you. I said, yes, you did. I said, but why did you let it slam in her face? And he just kind of smirked and walked off. I have noticed that a lot of black men that specifically date white women like to treat black women horribly. And I will never understand that shit. I do not give a damn who you choose to date. You can date whatever fucking race of people you want to date. I don't give a damn. But why must you treat black women so horribly when you choose to date outside of your race? And I have seen this more than once, so don't tell me that was just him, because it's not. I have witnessed it, that when a black man chooses to date another race, he chooses to treat black women like trash. And that's the most ignorant shit I have ever seen in my life. I will never understand that. You have a right. You can have your preference. You can date whoever the fuck you want to date. This is a free country. Nobody said that. You can love whoever you want to love. Probably that specifically just degraded black women, talk down on them. That would be an automatic deal breaker for me, because why? Your mother is black. Your sisters, if you have them, are black. Your grandmother is black. Why would you do that? Just because you choose to date outside of your race never, ever, ever gives you the right to degrade black women. It's the most disgusting behavior I have ever seen, and I have seen it so many times, and I would love for someone to tell me why. Why do you do that?
So now they've been doing this thing to the extent that palm color people are noticing, and then this woman has come to call them out for it. How embarrassing. What a shame. What a disgrace. Are you not ashamed? Are you not embarrassed? I don't know. This is why black women will always be disrespected by everybody. Because even our own people disrespect us. Even some of our men disrespect us. Of course, I don't believe all black men are like this. But when black women say these very things, they talk about how, black women don't want or are jealous because these black men are with white women. But it's not necessarily because of that. Sometimes it's because of things like this. And it's a shame. But anyway, let's just play people's responses.
Specifically date white women like to treat black women horribly.
Okay, ma'am. Let me explain to you what you saw. You saw an immature, rude man who decided to treat another woman horribly, right? And for whatever reason, he decided to treat that other woman horribly, whether he was black and he decided he was going to treat black women horribly, or whether he didn't want to hold the door open for more than two women and he wanted to treat the third woman horribly. But I'm just going to go with your premise that he is a black man and he treats black women horribly. I'm going to go with that. But I'm going to tell you something. Any black man that will treat a black woman horribly will easily and happily and eventually treat a white woman horribly too. That's part of his character, is to treat women horribly. It's not like he's going to treat a white woman nice and a black woman horribly. Eventually, he will treat that white woman just as horribly as he would any black woman, because it's part of his character to treat women horribly. If you have a black man, he has a black mother most likely and a black father most likely. Whether they're present in the home or not, he had them. And for whatever reason, he has decided to show disrespect to a woman. And it doesn't matter. Like you said, if somehow in his brain he's justifying, if I'm nice to a white woman and I'm not going to be nice to a black woman, those are still women, right? And so, like I said, eventually he will show disrespect. Because respect for another person does not depend on their race, color, creed, nationality, sexuality, sex, religious background, or political affiliation, right? It's just like having a parent that's a racist. They just don't hate black people. If a racist comes out and is hateful to someone black, eventually this will spill into his own relationships in his home. I've dated white women who's had parents who were racist. And guess what also they were? They were also sexist. And guess what also were? They were also homophobic. And they also talked about their own white daughter, that she was overweight, and they talked about her weight, or they talked about her teeth, or they talked about her hair, and they made her feel inferior too. So it is a personality flaw to be hateful to anybody. So this person you saw is not just a black man. It is a black man with a serious character flaw. And he will show that character flaw to anybody and everybody that's around him from any long period of time. So don't get confused to think that this is some characteristics of black men who are dating white women.
I think this man is making sense, but he's trying to make it look like it didn't have to do with the race. A lot of time it might be motivated by that, because some of these men have grievances a bit against black women because they might have dated certain black women and maybe it didn't work out, or black women were not interested in them, and then they decided to try dating outside their race, and then they now have an animosity towards black women. Yes, what he's saying is right. It could just be a man with a general disregard for women and a poorly raised man with a bad character. Yeah, it could be that. And it could also be an animosity towards black women.
Typically date white women, like to treat black women horribly.
And this is why I always say, never give your time and energy to a man who don't want you. I'm happy that our sister was honest, and everything that she said is very heartbreaking and harsh to hear. But I knew this. Anytime you hate your own, you got some deep-seated issues. And ladies, don't waste your time worrying about it, because that's something they got to deal with by themselves with whoever they're with. Does it suck to be disrespected by your own? Absolutely. But guess what? We can't change nobody but ourselves. We focus and control our controllables. We focus on who want us and who see us and who like us. The men who don't like us, we don't see. Stevie Wonder, we blind to him, okay? So although this is hard to hear, although some of y'all have been validated by this story, and I can honor that, we do not waste time on people who do not want us. Ladies, you will thrive when you focus on the men who don't want you. Focus on the men who want you and leave the ones who don't in the dust. Let him go deal with all that trauma, all that drama with his therapist. That has nothing to do with you. This is why I always encourage women to read the book, The 4 Agreements. One of the agreements is take nothing personal. Why? Because how somebody treats you, a perfect stranger, has nothing to do with you. It's their lived experience. It's whatever story and narrative. They're the main character in their world, and we do not have to be a part of it. So let them go be evil, nasty, vindictive in their own. Because at the end of the day, God sees it all. And he don't play about his children, okay? So you let them be nasty, mean in their own world, and focus on who loves and appreciates you. That's it, that's all. But shout out to this sister for keeping it real, but most of us already knew that. And we do not care, so we don't experience it.
There was a black lady right behind me. He let that door go and slam in her face.
What up, fam? How you doing? Good stuff. Yeah, I had to jump in here real quick and comment on this video. This is gonna take a minute because there's a lot to unpack here. Number one, okay, I have to break this down because I couldn't actually stitch the whole parts that I wanted to stitch. So here we go. So basically, I'm just gonna tell you, watch that video. If not, I'll just give you the Cliff Notes version. Basically, she walked into a store and what is coming, why a person would do that, and not all men do this, unhealed trauma from the past, period. As a black man who has typically dated outside of his race, I'll tell you, there's a lot of trauma from at an early age when dating first started and black women told me I was not black enough, or I wasn't thug enough, or I wasn't hood enough. So I was told I was less than. So I reached out to the white community. So in my younger days, when I was way younger, in my 20s, sometimes I felt a little something. I felt a certain type of way towards black women. It wasn't justified? No. But I was young and I was stupid. You know what I'm saying? But that's just the way I was. Now in today's society, I realized that it's not like that anymore. So what I feel like this particular gentleman was dealing with some unhealed trauma. He's upset because he was treated wrongly or felt like he was treated wrongly from a black woman that he tried to date or was dating or something of that nature. Or was just chastised and told he was worthless or less than or anything of that nature. I'm just guessing because I don't know this person, but I can see where the thought process comes in. Do I justify his actions? Absolutely not. I would never do that because that's unhealed energy right there. You know, he needs to make peace with that and understand that not all people act that way. Not all black women act that way. Not all black women treat black men disparagingly. You know what I'm saying? They don't treat them like crap because they dated a white woman, you know? But that's just my story. I dated a white woman and everybody told me I was less than. So, and all the black people would not have anything to do with me. Men and women alike. That's just my thought process. Please weigh in and let me know what you think.
You know, this is why I think we need to go to therapy. This is why black people generally, the whole diaspora, because it's happening over here as well. This is why we need to take mental health more seriously, go to therapy and heal those traumas so that you don't go around living your life like a reckless cow, you know? But on a serious note, like, this is the reason. Imagine carrying that animosity and then acting a certain way to all black women. And it is not just black men that do this. Yes, black women too, because now what I mean is the fact that we might, you know, maybe I dated a black man or dated 2, 3, 4 black men and they treated me badly. I will now say, I don't want to date black men because black men do this, black men do that. I generalize. And then I'm like, okay, this is why I'm going to date outside my race. And then I make it a point of duty to always speak bad about black men and all of that. So it goes both ways, actually. But at the end of the day, it's not really, there are good and bad people in every race. It's not really about the race of the person. It's about the person. And if you probably keep picking wrong, maybe you need to look inwards and know why you keep picking wrong.
I have a question for some black men because I know it's not all, so don't.
Honestly, it will boil down with that guy in your video when it comes to certain black men who date white women. And speaking from as a black man who's been on that same side, I never dated a white girl, but I've seen that mindset where these guys go through. It's usually either something that happened back in middle school, high school, college, where he shoot a shot with a black girl, he got shot down, or possibly some abusive authority figure he had growing up, whether it be mom, black mom, auntie, teacher, whoever. But most oftentimes it's the former. Now, although for this video, I'm mostly speaking on the black nerd side of the diaspora, the black diaspora, this can also apply for really any black man in general. It's a long one, but watch this video right here, and this will perfectly explain how some of these black men will grow up to be bashing and hating on black women. Even though this is more on the nerdy side of things, it still applies for other black men in general. But again, what would happen is, what I mentioned the former, usually back in middle school, high school, college, during the early 20s, he had a crush on a black girl. He tried shooting a shot, and he got rejected because the girl told him, you talk white, you act white. And, the constant rejections from black women, he, in that mindset, it starts growing and festering that, all black women want a bad boy. And they never learn to properly heal. They never learn to move on. So what happening is they'll end up starting dating interracially. They'll go for an Asian girl, or most often the case, it's a white girl. Now, I'm not saying every black man that dates a white woman that's in an interracial relationship with a white woman does this, but usually most often cases, if you do see this type of event, and like you said, and the guy in the story you just mentioned, if you ask them deep down what happened, it's usually because some black girl never gave me a shot. Black women never loved me. Black women never gave me a shot growing up. Because as we all know, usually adults' behavior reaction is usually can stem back to what happened through those, formative years as a kid. It's a long one though, but I hope this helps.
Yeah, I think he's making a lot of sense. Yeah.
Why must you treat black women so horribly when
I didn't date some white women in my life, but never had the audacity to treat black women wrong. Black men need to stop getting with white women and thinking that they superior. Because personally, I know some black men that get with white women and think that they got the best girl in the whole life world. And they kind of remind me of that one guy that said, I'm so grateful that my wife is white. I forgot his name, but if you know his name, link it in the comment. But black man, stop acting like this. We know your girl is white. But for me personally, I love all women. I love all women, especially my black queens. Especially my black queens. And I hold the door for all women. Actually, I hold the door for anybody. Anybody. But black men, if you got a white woman, stop treating other races with disrespect. Especially your own.
Something just came to my mind while he was speaking. If you get with a white person, generally, now, not just even as a black man, if you're a black woman or a black man and you get with a white person, you're dating a white person, and then all of a sudden you feel like it's a status boost for you. It's a bump in your status because, my boyfriend is white, or my girlfriend is white, my wife, my husband is white. Do you know that slave mentality? Because, all of a sudden the master is interested in me, or I could get the master's woman. This is why I talk about, slavery was just not physical. It was mental as well. And we need to work on that. If you definitely feel you're with the person you're with is better because they are white, you need to look inwards and we need to go to therapy. Anyway, you guys let me know what you think about this. Have you witnessed anything like this happening? Because even those people that get on podcasts and talk down on black women are doing the same thing as this man who slammed the door in the black woman's face. It's the same thing. What's the difference? Disrespecting black women because you're dating outside your race. Love who you love, be with who you want to be with, but don't shit on the people in your community because of that. You'll be looking like a fool. Anyway, you guys let me know what you think in the comment section. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.